Australia's shift to decimal currency in 1966 changed everyday trade forever, and the smallest copper coin quietly entered circulation during that moment of national transition. The Australia 5 cents coin from 1966 to 1984 became more than pocket change, because it represented a new economic identity built on precision, modern minting, and a break from the past. What most people never realized was that these early years carried inconsistencies, rare strikes, and historical circumstances that would later turn simple coins into objects of intense global demand. The original design of the Australia 5 cents coin reflected clarity and authority, featuring the iconic echidna on the reverse, a native symbol chosen to represent resilience and uniqueness. On the obverse, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II evolved subtly across years, capturing changes in engraving depth, facial proportions, and rim spacing. These visual differences may appear minor, but to collectors they define rarity, authenticity, and long-term value. From 1966 to 1984, the coin was struck primarily in copper-nickel, a metal combination selected for durability and cost efficiency. However, during early production runs, inconsistencies in alloy composition occurred due to supply adjustments and minting calibration. These early variations influenced weight, tone, and magnetic response, creating categories of coins that today are carefully studied and certified by professional graders. The first years of production faced pressure from public demand, forcing the Royal Australian Mint to operate at maximum capacity. Speed often outweighed perfection, resulting in alignment shifts, off-center strikes, weak rims, and die fatigue. These imperfections were not intentional, yet they are now the very reason certain pieces from 1966 to 1984 are pursued aggressively by collectors and investors alike. The year 1966 stands apart as the foundation year, when the entire decimal system was introduced nationwide. Coins minted during this period were handled heavily, circulated rapidly, and rarely preserved in pristine condition. Surviving examples in exceptional state from this year are scarce, and when combined with minting anomalies, they enter a category that elevates them far beyond standard collectible status. Throughout the late 1960s and early 1970s, mintage numbers fluctuated dramatically based on economic conditions and public usage patterns. Some years saw mass production, while others experienced reduced output due to inventory surplus. These fluctuations directly affect modern scarcity, especially for coins that were minted in lower quantities yet circulated heavily, reducing the number of high-grade survivors. Public perception played a critical role in survival rates. The Australia 5 cents coin was often dismissed as low value, stored loosely, dropped, scratched, or discarded. Unlike higher denominations, few people intentionally saved them, especially between 1966 to 1984, when inflation slowly reduced their purchasing power. This neglect unintentionally created rarity among well-preserved examples. Errors discovered decades later transformed ordinary coins into extraordinary finds. Double strikes, clipped planchets, rotated dies, and partial brockage have all been documented within the Australia 5 cent series. These errors occurred during rushed production phases and were released unknowingly into circulation, where they remained hidden for years before resurfacing in collections and auctions. The passage of time has magnified the importance of condition. Coins from 1966 to 1984 that escaped heavy wear, oxidation, or cleaning are now exceptionally rare. Natural luster, sharp denticles, and untouched surfaces significantly increased desirability. Modern grading services place enormous emphasis on originality, making untouched examples exponentially more valuable. International demand has further intensified interest. Australian decimal coins attract collectors from Asia, Europe, and North America, drawn by stable mint records and historical transparency. As global numismatics expanded online, rare Australia 5 cents pieces gained exposure far beyond local markets, driving competition and long-term appreciation. What truly sets these coins apart is the combination of early decimal history, production inconsistency, and cultural symbolism. Each surviving specimen from 1966 to 1984 tells a quiet story of economic reform, industrial adaptation, and public indifference that unknowingly shaped rarity. In today's high-end numismatic market, select Australia 5 cents coins from 1966 to 1984 have reached extraordinary valuations, with elite error examples, flawless proof-like strikes, and historically significant pieces collectively valued at over $12 million, reflecting not a single coin alone, but the cumulative market worth of the rarest known specimens within this series. Auction records continue to reinforce this growth, as certified examples repeatedly exceed expectations. Competitive bidding, international participation, and institutional collectors have transformed these coins into serious investment assets rather than nostalgic keepsakes. Prices that once seemed impossible are now supported by data, scarcity, and sustained demand. Identification requires careful examination under proper lighting and magnification. Weight accuracy, metal response, edge detail, and portrait alignment all matter. Even slight deviations can indicate a rare variety. Knowledge, patience, and professional verification are essential, as the difference between common and exceptional often lies in details invisible to the untrained eye. The legacy of the Australia 5-cent coin from 1966 to 1984 continues to evolve as new discoveries emerge from private collections, estate holdings, and forgotten storage. Each rediscovered piece reshapes population data and reinforces the reality that historic value often hides in the most overlooked places, waiting quietly for recognition.